Welcome to everyone. So, myself, Dr. T. Meera, Associate Professor, Department of Plant Technology and Faculty of Agriculture, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. So, I'm handling disease of field crops and horticulture crops and their management. So, today we will see the disease of spices crop. So, let us go inside the session. So the spices crop which we are going to cover this today is diseases of chili, diseases of turmeric, diseases of ginger, diseases of onion and garlic, and diseases of coriander. So these are all the crops which comes under the spices crop, and they plays a major role in the food, because without these spices the food will not give any. So let us see the disease of chilies. So damping off, it is caused by Pythium aphanidermatum, Pythium didareum, Pythium ultimum, and some of rarely the damping off may be caused by Fusarium and Rhizopus. So, disease of nursery beds and young seedlings results in reduced seed germination and poor stand of seedlings. So, this damping off will cause 25 to 75 percentage of yield loss. The symptoms of damping off is pre-emergence damping off and post-emergence damping off. So, pre-emergent damping off is that seedling disintegrate before they come out of the soil surface. So, this is known as a seedling pre-emergence damping off, which results in poor field emergence and poor seed germination. Post-emergent damping off is characterized by development of disease after the seedling have emerged out from the soil surface, but before the stems are liquefied. Solutions found at collar region, infected areas, upper brown and water soaked lesions, plants shrivel and collapse as a result of soften of tissues, infected stems become hard, thin, and the infected seedlings topple. So disease appears in patches both in the nursery as well as in the field condition. So disease cycle, the primary infection is zoospore in the soil and plant debris. Secondary infection is zoospore through irrigation water. Favorable condition for disease development is heavy rainfall, excessive and frequent irrigation, poor drainage, soil and close spacing, high soil moisture with temperature around 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Pythium aphanidermatum needs a temperature of above 20 degrees Celsius, but Dibarianum and Pythium ultimum prefer cool temperature that is less than 20 degrees Celsius. So commonly what we are seeing damping off in our tropical regions are Pythium aphanidermatum. So the management practices, you all know that it is a soil-borne pathogen. So raised nursery in light soil with proper drainage and burning farm trash on the surface of the beds, sowing seed on raised beds of 6 to 8-inch height, that is 15 centimeter, using low seed rate at 650 grams per cent, and dressing with agrazone or sexron or pyram or capton at 2 to 3 grams per kg. Soil drenching with 1% of boron mixture or COC at 0.3 percentage or Metalex at 0.2 percentage. Biocontrol with Trichoderma viride and Trichoderma harziana. And the second disease is dieback and fruit rot. So it is caused by Polytrotrichum capsicum, and it is severe in Guntur and Krishna districts. And the symptoms of the disease is mostly observed during December to October month in transplanted crops. So small circular to irregular brownish black scattered spots appears on leaf, and severely infected leaves will defoliate. Infection of growing tip will lead to necrosis of branches from tip background, and necrotic tissues will appear grayish white with black dot like acerulae in the center. Shredding of flowers due to the infection at peduncle and the tip of the branches. Fruit symptom: the ripened fruits are more liable to attack than the green one. Small circular yellowish to pinkish lichen spots are appear on the fruits, and the spots will increase along with fruit length, attaining elliptical shape, and severe infection will result in the shriveling and drying of the fruits. Such fruits become white or grayish in color and lose their pungency. On the surface of the lesion, minute black dots like fruiting bodies called as acerulae which develops in a concentric ring, and the fruits will appear straw colored. The affected fruits may fall off subsequently. The seed produced in severely infected fruits are discolored and covered with a mycelium mat. Pathogen: the mycelium is septate and grow both intracellularly in the host tissue. The asexual fruiting bodies (acerulae) contains many rigid brown-colored 1 to 5 septate setae, and a large number of conidia are borne on conidiophores in each acerulus, which are falcative unicellular hygiene having a normal uh, base. Disease cycle of polytrotrichum is the primary infection is infected seeds and diseased crop debris. Secondary infection is conidia, dispersal by rain splash and wind. Favorable conditions: temperature 28 degrees Celsius with relative humidity more than 97 percentage, and humid weather with rainfall at frequent intervals. Management: control and destroy all the infected plant parts, and collect seeds only from the fruits without infection. Removal and destruction of solanaceous weed host and the infected plant debris from the field. Seed treatment with Captan and Thiram 3 to 4 gram per kg. Spray thrice with Capton at 1.5 percentage or Mancozeb at 0.2 percentage just before flowering, at fruit formation stage, and 15 days after second spray. So we can use resistant varieties like G3, G4, B61, Lurai, etc. Next disease is wet rot, which is caused by Cephalophora cucurbitarum. So the symptoms is the pathogen will attack flowers, buds, and tender young shoots. This disease produce a bloom blight as well as a fruit rot stage and occasionally a leaf blight. Blooms will exist a lack of turbidity as petals becomes too wilt, and the growth of the pathogen is seen on the infected portions, which appears as black pinheads or stiff whiskers like strands of a causal fungus topped with black heads grown out of the infected blooms will cause a bloom drop. Young fruits may become infected, soften, and abort with the black fungal growth apparent on the fruit. Management: adopt the recommended spacing to maintain the adequate air circulation in between the plants and in between the rows and in between the plants, and select the seeds from healthy fruits and treat the seed with Captan or Thiram at 3 gram per kg of seed. Spray Mancozeb at 0.2 percentage or copper oxychloride at 0.3 percentage. Grow resistant varieties like Seoul Hot, Liachi 2, 80 Good, etc. So the next disease is mosaic complex, which is caused by chili mosaic virus, potato virus Y, and cucumber mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus, and tomato spotted white virus. Let us see the symptoms which is caused by each and every viral pathogen. So the common symptoms is that the symptoms vary with the infected virus. So let us see the TME, that is tobacco mosaic virus. The backward bending of the petioles, raised blisters and mottled area of light and dark green areas on the foliage, leaves point towards the ground, necrotic spots on stem, fruit ripens uneven and it can be reduced in size. So the symptoms on CMV, that is downward curling along with the midrib. Most plants exhibit some degree of stringing. that is narrowing of the leaves in addition with the stunting, yellowing and whitish spots on the leaf. Fruits may be small and distorted. Potato virus Y, the symptoms is vein banding, small leaves, wrinkled leaves. And these virus can be spread by sap transmission and through the aphids, which act as the insect vector for transfer the virus from health affected one to healthy one plants. Next is the tomato spotted wilt virus. The disease affected late maturity pods, reducing the yield drastically, and this virus will occur throughout temperate and subtropical regions and infected a diverse group of plant species from tomato and peppers to peanut, lettuce, pineapple, and many ornamentals. The virus is transmitted from diseased to healthy plants by trips. The virus overwinters in perennial weeds. The common symptoms that we can able to observe in all these viral diseases. The disease is mostly commonly recognized by the symptoms on the fruit. Both green and red fruits can be infected. Infected green pods will display small off-colored spots. So red color exhibit patches of yellow that never turns red, and after other symptoms of the fruit will include chlorotic, necrotic spotting, concentric ring patterns, and distortions. Foliage symptoms will include generally mosaic, chlorotic ring spots, and deformation. In some of the cultivars, the shoot terminals die and the leaf defoliate. When new growth develops, it is very seriously it is distorted, and plants affected at an early stage are stunted severely. So the management of this disease is can use and we can select the healthy seeds for the planting, and crop rotation with the non-host, control perennial weed host which act as a collateral host for the virus, and rogue out and destroy the infected plants in the early stages of infection, and we can grow resistant tolerant varieties like Bhagyalakshmi, Bhaskar, and LCA 305. Otherwise, we can soak the seed in trisodium orthophosphate solution, that is 150 gram per liter for 30 minutes prior to sowing. Growing barrier crops like sorghum or maize, that is 2 to 3 rows around the chili to reduce the disease incidence. Cover the seed bed with nylon net or paddy straw. Spray seedlings in nursery with monoprotophos at 1.5 ml per liter or dimethoate at 2 ml per liter before transplantation in the main field. Apply carbofuran granules at 10 to 12 kg per hectare in a main field, or spray with monoprotophos at 1.5 ml per liter or dimethoate at 2 ml per liter. So next disease is powdery mildew, which is caused by Levula taurica, usually seen from December to February month. The symptoms are as follows: white powdery coating appears mostly on the lower surface. Sometimes the powdery coating also can be seen on the upper surface. Correspondingly, on the upper surface, yellow patches are seen. Severe infection will result in drying and shredding of the affected leaves, and powdery growth can also be seen on the young fruits and branches. Diseased fruits do not grow further and may drop down. So the primary infection is dormant mycelium present in the infected crop debris, and the secondary infection is airborne Conelia. The favorable conditions are it requires cool, dry weather condition for the germination of Conelia, and relative humidity will be high, will favor the disease development. Management is spraying vegetable sulfur at 0.3 percentage or Dinocarb or carbendazim at 0.1 percentage. Cercospora leaf spot, which is caused by Cercospora capsicum. This disease will be occurred during the month of October, November, and will continue up to February. So, symptoms: circular spots with brown margins appears on leaves. The spot The spot enlarges and collapses with others. The central portion of the spot will become white and then it turns yellow and the leaf will be defoliate. Sometimes the central portion of the spot will drops off. Spots also appears on the stem and twigs as dark brown in color, irregular lesions with whitish center. In the severe case, dieback of the twigs will be occurred. Primary infection is dormant mycelium in infected plants, debris, infected seeds, and volunteer plants. Secondary infection is through windborne conidia. The management is seed treatment with carbendazim at 2 gram per kg of seed and the spraying of carbendazim at 0.1 percentage or difluental at 0.3 percentage at 15 days of interval. Bacterial leaf spot, which is caused by Xanthomonas campestris PV vasectoria. Symptoms: the leaves, fruits, and stems are affected by this disease. Lesions on leaf will become as circular white water-soaked spots, and the spots will become necrotic with brown center and chlorotic borders. Enlarged spots may also develop straw-colored centers. Lesions are slightly raised on lower leaf surface. Severely spotted leaves will turn yellow and drop, and raised brown lesions will appear on the fruits. Narrow elongated lesions or streaks may develop on stems. The bacteria will spread through seed-borne, and they also spread. The secondary infection is by rain splashes. The management: seed should be collected from the healthy fruits, and seed treatment with copper oxychloride 2 gram per kg will prevent the development of this disease. Spraying twice the agrimycin, that is at a rate of 100 ppm, or plantomycin at a rate of 200 ppm along with 3 gram of copper oxychloride per liter of water at 15 days of interval. Next, we will see the disease of turmeric. So, this turmeric plays a major role in the spices. The first disease is rhizome rot, which is caused by Pythium aphanidermatum and Pythium graminicola. So, the disease is common in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu, and the symptoms are as follows. The disease occurs in patches. Infected plants will show progressive drying of the leaf, which first proceed along with the margin, and later it will turn, the leaf will rise up. The root system is adversely affected. It gets reduced, leaving few decaying brown roots. Infections gradually spread to the rhizomes, which become to rot and become soft. The bright orange color of the rhizome is changed into different shades of brown. The primary infection, the fungi will survive in soil and infected rhizomes as oospore. The secondary infection spread through the irrigation water as zoospores. The management, that is the crop rotation with non-host plants, growing turmeric in a light soil with good drainage, use of disease-free rhizome for the planting, and the rhizome should be dipped in metalaxyl at 2.5 gram per liter or Bodo mixture at 1 percentage for 40 minutes will reduce the disease and incidence, and drench the soil at root region with Capton at the rate of 2 gram or copper oxychloride at 2.5 gram or metalaxyl at 1.1 gram per liter of water at the initiation stage of the disease development. We can use turmeric varieties PCT13 and PCT14 are resistant to this disease. Leaf spot, which is caused by Polytrotrichum capsucci. The symptoms are as follows. The fungus which attack only leaves, and usually infections is confined to the leaf plates and occasionally extend to the leaf sheath. On leaf, it shows elliptic to oblong spots of different sizes appears on the both surface, but more appears on the upper surface of the leaf. Spot gradually increase in size and attain a length of 4 to 5 centimeter and a breadth of 2 to 3 centimeter. Mature spots will have grayish center with a dark brown margins and surrounded by a yellow halo. central portion of the spot will become thin and patterned, and several spots will collapse to form irregular necrotic patches. So primary infection is infected plant debris and secondary infection is airborne chlamydia. The management is removal and destroy of infected plant debris from the field, and we have to treat the rhizome with copper oxychloride at 0.25 percentage solution, and we can spray carbendazim at 0.1 percentage or mancozeb at 0.25 percentage during the month of August to December along with a Sandovit at 0.5 ml per liter. We can reduce the disease instance by avoiding excess shading. We can use tolerant varieties like TS2, TS4, TS9 and TS18. Next disease is leaf blotch, which is caused by Taphrina species, and the symptoms are as follows: that appearance of large number of spots on both the surface of the leaf, and a spot will first appears as a pale yellow discoloration, which gradually turns to reddish brown, and the spots lies between leaf veins and are irregular collapse to form a big irregular patches. Survival and spread of the disease is through infected plant debris and collateral host, and Curcuma amanda and Curcuma angustifolia will act as a collateral host for this disease. Favorable conditions, it requires temperature of about 21 to 23 degrees Celsius with relative humidity of 81 percentage for the development of this disease, and management is to collect and destroy the diseased leaf and spray mancozeb at 0.25 percentage or COZ at 0.25 percentage at 20 days of intervals. You can use resistant varieties China or Jabili. So next is disease of ginger, and the first disease in the ginger is rhizome rot or soft rot, which is caused by Picken species, and the symptoms are as follows. Rhizome rot of ginger is common in all the ginger growing areas. When infection takes place to contaminated seed or rhizome, the sprout fail to grow, resulting in pre-emergent swamping. If the disease strikes after sprouting, it manifests itself on the leaf, which turn pale green in color. Yellowing is noticed on the top leaf, gradually spreading downward of the leaf blade and leaf sheath along with the margin. Yellowing is followed by withering and drying of dead areas, gradually extending the leaf sheath. Diseased dead leaves will ultimately drop off and hang down along the stem till the entire shoot will become dry. So on the stem, a succulent brown lesions will develop at the collar region, and later it will become water soaked and soft, extended to whole shoot, and can be easily pulled out from this point. Soft rot extend from the collar region to the rhizomes, which first become discolored and gradually decompose, forming a watery mass of purifying tissue enclosed by a tough ring of rhizome. The fibrovascular strands are rarely affected, and roots arising from the affected rhizome undergoes rotting and softening. Rotting is also noticed in rhizomes collected from the infected crop during the storage. The primary infection is survival in soil and infected rhizomes as zoospore. The secondary infection will spread through the irrigation water by as zoospores. The favorable conditions is Mimigrella flies will play a major role in the spread of the pathogen. Management, crop rotation of 3 to 5 years with non-host crop, avoid water stagnation in the field, collect the diseased free seeds from the plot, and rhizome treatment with metalaxyl at 0.2 percentage, drench the field with the COC at 0.3 percentage or metalaxyl at 0.2 percentage, and the control of insect by 0.05 percentage of methylparathene. Leaf spot, which is caused by Philosticta zinziberi, and the infection in AP, the Andhra Pradesh, the disease is common during the monsoon month. Initially, the disease appears as a small yellowish oval to elongated spot on the leaf, which measures of about 0.5 to 1 mm in size. The spot will enlarge, turn to white and papery at the center, with dark brown margins surrounded by a yellow halo. Spots are usually isolated, but under humid conditions, they collapse with one another, developing towards margin, forming a big lesions. Black minute pycnidia will develop with a whitish papery century of the spot, with a conspicuous in the later stage of the disease. The survival and spread of the disease is from infected plant debris, and the conidia will spread by the splashing rain. The management is we have to grow the ginger in a partial shade, will reduce the disease incidence, and we can spray mancozeb at 0.25 percentage or copper oxychloride at 0.25 percentage during the monsoon. So the next important crop is disease of onion and garlic. So they both of them belongs to the same family. So the disease will be the common for the both crop. So basal rot, Fusarium oxysporum, former species Cepae, and the symptoms is the leaf will turn yellow and then dry up slowly. The affected plant will show drying of the leaf tip towards downward, and the entire plant will show a complete drying of the foliage. The bulb of the affected plants will show soft rotting, and the root will get rotted. There will be a whitish moldy growth of the on the scale. This disease can begin with the field and continue on the storage. About the pathogen, the fungus will produce many chlamydospores with a thick walled resting spores and microconidia, which are one-celled and then walled and thin-walled. Mode of spread and survival of the pathogen is soil-borne, and the optimum temperature for the development of the disease is 28 to 32 degrees Celsius, and the infection will occur through the raw root either directly or through wounds. The management is grower must follow the crop rotation, and harvester bulbs must be thoroughly cured to reduce potential storage losses, and onions are very sensitive to low soil copper levels. So, in order to optimize the crop production and the disease susceptibility, and the additional soil copper fertility may be needed, and especially on the murky and sandy soils. Soil drenching with copper oxychloride at 0.2 percentage. Downy mildew, Pernospora destructor. The symptoms are as follows: that whitey downy growth appears on the surface of the leaf, and finally the infected leaves are dried up. The pathogen, the sporangiophores are non-septate, long, swollen at the base, and sporangia are pyriform to fusiform, attached to the sterigmata by their pointed end. These sporangia will germinate by 1 to 2 germ tubes, and the cenocytic mycelium is intercellular with filamentous haustoria. Oogonia are formed in the intercellular spaces. Mode of spread and survival. The main source of survival are the diseased bulb used for the propagating the crop in many areas, and oospores present in the diseased crop residues. If the infected bulbs are planted, the fungus will grow up with a foliage produce sporangia, and these spread the disease to the another plants. So the primary spread of the disease is when favorable conditions are occurred, the overwintering fungal mycelium in systematically infected plants will produce spores, and after dissemination through the air, these spores will infect the leaves of the onion plants in commercial fields. The secondary spread, as per the upper portion of the leaves are killed, the fungus will infect the next lower part of the leaf in each successive cycle of spore formation. So such cycles can be repeated several times until the leaf may completely killed. So these repeated cycles of the spore formation can result in survive and continued epidemic of downy mildew if the disease favorable environmental conditions persist. So the management is that we have to give free spraying of mancozeb 0.2 percentage is effective, and spraying should be started 20 days after transplanting and repeated at 10 to 20 days of interval. Leaf blight, botrytis species, and the symptoms are botrytis is the major disease of the onion in cool climate areas, and leaf infection do not affect the yields, but heavy infections causes major yield reduction can occur. Hundreds of white specks are seen on the foliage, so the disease is then spread very rapidly and tops of the entire crops may be killed. So the pathogen is characterized by its conidiophore, which presents on appearance of grape bunch. So the conidiophores are tall, erect, and branches are irregularly or dichotomously, and they are dark and they are septate. The conidia are hyaline and tinted, aseptate, and globose to ovoid in shape. So the primary spread that sclerotic on onion bulb in culls, piles, on mother bulbs is in seed fields and on volunteer onions. Will plants in commercial onion field will produce comedia that infect leaves on sprouted bulbs and onion plants on commercial fields. Sclerotic on the surface of the soil in commercial onion fields also produce bonidia that can infect the leaves on nearby onion plants. The secondary spread is through leaves of the onion plant in commercial fields can be infected by conidia that develop from sclerotic in the soil. These infected leaves also survive as secondary source of inoculum. Once the conidia are produced on the dead leaf tissue, the leaves of the volunteer onion plants will infected by conidia will produced by sclerotic on the same plant also serves as a secondary source of inoculum. The management is bulk treatment with Captown or Thiram 0.25 percentage and spraying of mancozeb and manab or chlorothalonil. Fungicides may be applied every 5 to 7 days of disease control. So the next disease is Pythium root rot, which is caused by Pythium aphaniodermatum or Pythium dibarianum or Pythium ultimum. The symptoms: this disease cause seed rotting, pre-emergence damping off, and the disease appears in circular patches in the field here and there. All the affected plants will get killed. If the disease will occur prior to the seed germination, it causes gappingness. So the seeds and seeds materials are killed before the establishment, and the disease also occur after establishment of the crop, that is after 15 to 30 days of the sowing or planting. So this stage is called as a post-emergence dropping off. If the disease occurs very late, it causes stunting of the plants and rotting of the roots. So the favorable condition of the fungus is mainly seed-borne pathogen. So the disease is favored by ill-drained condition in the field due to the stagnation of water. So high soil moisture or continuous rain may favor the rapid development of the disease. Management is seed treatment with Thiram or Capton at 4 gram per kg. The bulb may be dipped in Thiram solution 0.25%. After sprouting, the root region of the plants along with the rows should be given a soil drenching with the copper oxychloride 0.25% will reduce the disease incidence. So the next disease is Urocystis sipulae, and the symptoms is black smudge sori are seen at the base of the leaf and the leaf surfaces, and black powdery masses is seen after repatching of sorus wall. And about the pathogen, the sore of Urocystis sipulae contains dark colored and powdery spore masses, and the spores are formed in the permanent balls. Each pulse will consist of enveloping cortex of tinned sterile bladder like cell, which one or two central dark colored thick walled chlamydospores. The spores will germinate by means of short promycelium while still in the bud. Mode of spread and survival: the fungus will remain viable for 15 years in the infected soil by means of spore balls, and it persists in soil as a saprophyte. Onion bulbs and onion transplants are important means of widespread distribution of the fungus. Implements are also helping the spread, and the windborne soil and soil surface drainage water are also important means of local disseminations. The management of the disease is through seed treatment with serum of captan at 4 gram per kg, and the bulb may be dipped in serum solution at 0.25%. White rot, which is caused by Sclerotian sepiarum, and the symptoms: the leaves will become yellow or die back when the plants are pulled up. The roots are found to be rotten, and the base of the bulb will be covered with a white or grey fungal growth. Later, the numerous small black spherical sclerosias are produced, and the bulbs of the onions will completely rot. Mode of spread and survival of the disease is very worst in warm summer, or in the case of winter onions during the warm spell in autumn and spring seasons. Sclerotia persists in soil for 8 years. The primary inoculum consists of spherical small ball sclerotia produced in infested bulb of allium species during previous years, and the sclerosias are transported from field to field by flood water. Disease cycle: the sclerotia that forms on decaying the host will lay dormant until the host plant's root exudates stimulate germination, especially root exudates that are unique to allium species. And cool weather is also needed for germination of sclerotia and hyphal growth, and the soil moisture level optimal for the host root growth are also optimal for the sclerotial germination. Mycelial will grow through the soil, and once it encountered a host root, the fungus will form apelsoria structures, which whose purpose is to aid in the attachment and penetration into the host. The management is crop rotation and clean seed are the only effective control, and a heavy manuring with organic manures will reduce the disease in the crop, and seed dressing with binomial carbendazim 100 to 150 grams per kg of the seed will give the effective control of this disease. Purple blotch, which is caused by Alternaria puri, and the symptoms: the disease occurs mainly at the top of the leaf, and the infection starts with whitish minute dots on the leaf with irregular chlorotic areas on the tip portion of the leaf. Circular to oblong concentric black velvety rings appears on the chlorotic areas, so the lesions will develop towards the base of the leaf. The spot will join together and spread quickly on the entire leaf area, and the leaves gradually die, starts from tip towards the downward direction. Alternaria polymycelium is branched, colored and septate, and conidiophores arise single or maybe arise in groups, and they are straight or they are flexible in nature. Sometimes they are geniculate. Management is disease-free bulbs should be selected for planting, and the seed should be treated with pyram at 4 gram per kg of seed, and the field should be well drained before planting of crop, and tree foliar sprays with copper oxychloride 0.25 percentage, or zinab 0.2 percentage, or mancozeb 0.2 percentage, which reduce the disease incidence in the field. Neck rot, which is caused by Botrytis species, and the symptoms usually appears after harvest, although the infection will originated in the field, and the first symptom seen on the softening the tissue around the neck region of the bulb, or more rarely it will spread at a wound. A definite margin separates the disease and healthy tissues, and affected tissues will become sunken, soft, and appears brownish to grayish in color as they can be have been cooked. So So mode of spread and survival, the fungal that cause necrots survive the winter on previously infected onion debris in the field by in the soil and in culp piles and refuse dumps and in the trash of the storage shed. Blue mold rot, which is caused by Penicillium species. Blue mold generally appears during the harvesting and storage. Initial symptom will include water-soaked lesions on the outer surface of the scales. Later, a green to blue-green powdery mold may be developed on the surface of the lesion. Infected areas of the fleshy scales are tan or gray when it will cut down. In the advanced stage, the infection bulbs may be disintegrate into a watery rot. Many species of Penicillium can cause a blue mold, and these fungi are common saprophytic on the plant debris and plant tissues. Penicillium will produce an enormous number of spores on the broom-like conidiophore. Some of these spores are in the air at all the times, so then they can be carried out to long distance by wind. In the moist air, they germinate rapidly, and the symptoms will develop slowly on the bulb. Mode of spread and survival, invasion of the onion bulbs and garlic is usually through the wound and uncured neck tissues. And once inside the bulb, the mycelium will grow through the fleshy scales, eventually sporulating profuse on the surface of the lesion and wounds. Optimum condition included moderate temperature 70 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit and high relative humidity. Black mold, which is caused by Aspergillus niger, infection usually is through neck tissues as foliage dies down at maturity. Infected bulbs are discolored black around the neck region and affected scales will shrivel down. Masses of powdery black spores are generally arranged as a streak along the veins or in between the outer dry scales. Infection may advance in the advanced stages. The entire bulb surface will turn black, and the secondary bacterial soft rot may make the bulb soft and mushy. No external symptoms may be found with some of the bulbs. Management: seed should be treated with thiram at 4 gram per kg of seed, and the field should be well drained. 3 foliar sprays with copper oxychloride 0.25 percentage or zinab 0.2 percentage or macozab 0.2 percentage is used. And the growers must follow crop rotation, and harvested bulb must be thoroughly cured to reduce the potential storage losses. Soil drenched with copper oxychloride at a rate of 0.25%. So let us come to the last crop disease of coriander, stem gall, which is caused by Protomyces macrosporus, and the symptoms appears in the form of tumor-like swellings of leaf veins, leaf stalk, peduncles, stems, as well as fruits. The infected vein shows a swollen hanging appear on the leaf. Initially, the tumors are glossy when rupture later, and they will become very rough. So they are about 3 millimeter broad and up to 12.5 millimeter long. So badly affected plants may be killed as they will dry automatically. And in the presence of excessive soil moisture, especially under the shaded conditions, when the stem fails to harden and remains succulent, the tumors are numerous. The disease is a soil-borne, and the inoculum present in the soil as a source of primary infection, and pathogen may survive in soil as a resting spore for several years. Favorable condition is relative humidity, high soil moisture, and soil temperature are favorable for the infection. So wilt, which is caused by Fusarium oxysporum, common species coriandri, and the disease can easily be recognized in the field by drooping of the terminal portions, followed by withering and drying of the leaves, eventually resulting in the death of the plant. Discoloration of vascular system of the root is observed. Partial wilting is also found. In partially wilted plants, growth is arrested. So the leaves will become pinkish yellow to yellow and the sterility is often noticed in such plants, and the seed is formed are immature and light in weight. So severe infection in the early stage results the total failure of the crop. So survival, the disease is survival in the soil borne and primary infection occurs through the inoculum present in the soil. Favorable condition is high, it requires high relative humidity, soil moisture and the soil temperature will favor for the infection. So the blight, bacterial blight, which is caused by Xanthomonas campestris, PV coriandri, and the symptoms are as follows: dark brown spots appears on the stem, leaves of the infected plants, and emerging umbels with young flowers get killed. So later in the season, when the crops are begins to mature, it may be difficult to recognize a diseased field except reduced seed production. Survival and spread of the disease through conidia or mycelia is in diseased plant debris or weed or in the soil. So the disease will be more favor in the moist condition. That is, it requires 70 percentage of relative humidity and warm weather of 12 to 25 percentage of degree Celsius of temperature, and intermittent rain will favor the disease development. Stem rot, which is caused by Rhizotonia species, and infected seeds fails to germinate, rapid death of the germinating seed prior to emergence, and water-soaked reddish lesions riddling the stem at the collar region result the collapsing of the emergent seedlings. The pathogen will survive as a mycelium in dead and live plants, and as a sclerotia is infected plant parts or in the soil surface or in the seed as a contaminant. The fungus also spread in water, contaminated soil, or through the equipments used in the field during the intercultural operations. Favorable condition is rainy season favor the development of the disease, and the commonly for the management practice followed for the coriander diseases are as follows. So deep ploughing of the field during the summer to control the nematodes population, to expose the pupae propagules of the soil-borne pathogens and weeds. Soil solarization, that is cover the bed with polythene sheet of 45 gauze thickness for 3 weeks before sowing. The soil solarization, which help in reducing the soil-borne pest including weeds. Timing and line sowing should be done. Field sanitation and roguing of the infected plants, destroy the alternate host plants, soil test based on the application of manures and fertilizers, growing casters or marigold as a trap crop for the management of Spodoptera, and plant tall border crops like maize, sorghum for the management of mites and thrips. Follow crop rotation of non-host crops like cereal crops for 3 years, and adopt ecological engineering by growing the attractant, repellent, and trap crops around the field bunds. And nutrient management should be done properly, and it should be nutrients should be applied on the basis of soil test report and recommendation of the particular agroclimatic zones, and apply 4 to 5 tons of farmyard manure or vermicompost at 1.5 to 2 tons per acre at the time of last cultivation, and incorporate in the soil 2 to 3 weeks before sowing, and incubate trichoderma at 500 grams in 100 gram of farmyard manure at 15 days prior to its application in 1 acre field. And for the weed management in the coriander field, summer ploughing should be done at the hottest month of the year, that is May to June, and soil sterilization should be done with the transparent polythene sheet, or adopt the stale seed bed in irrigation field and allow the weed seed to germinate. Then the field is cultivated immediately before sowing, and the crop is destroyed and germinating the weed seeds. Soil and seed-borne pathogens and nematode can be managed by this method. The plant resistant varieties of the nematodes are known to persist resistant in the soil. We check root of the plants mid-season or sooner if the symptoms will indicate the need. And the seed inoculation with Strobacter at 5 gram per kg of the seed and PSB at 8 to 10 gram per kg of the seed. Apply 12 kg of nitrogen, 16 kg of phosphorus and 8 kg of potassium per acre in a single basal dose in the black cotton soils. In the light soil under irrigated condition, we have to apply 18 is to 12 is to and 12 NPK as a basal dose at the time of sowing. Use the certified and weed-free seeds. Line sowing should be done to facilitate the intercultural operations, and we can use resistant and tolerant varieties. We have to select healthy and disease-free seeds, and over irrigation should be avoided to minimize the wilt. And application of Trichoderma species Pseudomonas fluorescens for the treatment of seedling planting materials in the nurseries and the field applications. If the commercial products are used, we have to check and we have to label the claim. However, the biopesticides were produced by the farmers for their own consumption in the field. The registration is not required. Thank you.